In the late hours of June 29, 2024, a 35-year-old rapper was shot dead while hanging out with his friends. At around 11:10 p.m., Chicago police responded to reports of multiple gunshots echoing through the 3300 block of West Franklin Boulevard. When they arrived, they found a man unresponsive and bleeding. He had been shot several times at close range. By the time he was rushed to the hospital, it was too late. He was pronounced dead. But what made the killing even more horrifying wasn't just the brutality of it. It was the fact that the entire targeted ambush had been captured on camera. But the worst was still to come. What unfolded next escalated into something even darker. This is the life and death of Nikko Whitehead James. Nikko DeMarcus O'Neal Whitehead, also known by his nickname Don Cheeks, was more than just a familiar name in Chicago's music and acting scene. Born and raised on the South Side, Nikko grew up surrounded by the highs and lows of street life. He found early escape in performing, first through local rap battles, later through small roles in independent films. On the streets, people simply called him Cheeks, a name that carried weight both in the arts and in street culture. At 35 years old,
It's a crazy name in 2025, man. No disrespect to Brodo, but yeah, Cheeks is a crazy name in 2025.
Cheeks had earned what many in Chicago's inner circles consider OG status, a title given to those who've seen the worst, survived it, and earned the respect of the block. But Nikko didn't just survive, he had ambition. He had recently started working behind the scenes on short films, writing scripts, mentoring up-and-coming local rappers, and even dabbling in event promotions. Those close to him described him as tough but loyal, the kind of man who spoke his mind but looked out for his people. He had a sharp sense of humor and a big personality, but street fame comes with shadows.
Gotta get back a motherfucker. Can't give these niggas advice on how to kill, cause they don't listen enough. He got back with that bud. I go to church on Sunday. They hit him in the stomach. Man, he'll do like a zombie. See, I know I get that money. Know what time it is, man. I stay motivated. Feel me? I already know. That bread.
Nikko had brushes with the law and made enemies over the years, both in business and on the block. And while he was trying to pivot into more legitimate ventures, some said trouble still followed him. He was reportedly a father of two, his young son, affectionately nicknamed Baby Nikko, and a daughter believed to be in her early 20s. Though no major outlets ever profiled him in depth, Nikko Whitehead's presence was known locally. Blog posts, interviews, and word of mouth painted a picture of a man rooted in the streets, yet branching out into creative work. He had a history in music and street films, appearing in independent YouTube projects, and notably, once being featured on Zack TV, one of Chicago's legendary platforms for drill culture and raw street storytelling.
Freedom game, it was the real game, it was the real tees, man. Them stand-up tees, man, never fall, man. You feel me? No matter what. The Kasho King on his way home, man. My nigga Rockboy, you know how the fuck
all my niggas that's gone.
You feel me? The Kasho King on his way home, man. We on the way, man. You feel me, man? You know how we bumming, man. All them guys. Rest in peace, Randy, all day, every day. Understand me, bang, bang, fun game, shit. Young nigga, understand me, taking over. That's how we coming, man.
I know y'all about to
put right here, Kings, man.
Yeah, we better tell us.
Money game, bitch, we worldwide. Bitch, I feel real. Hey, been on fucking G.I. bad bitch with Don Cheeks and all she do is eat. Never change on the game, cause that's how I beat her. I'm so 100, I don't know how to beat her. If a nigga play, I stay that fucking game. Touching on my back around the game, cause I don't play. So 100, fuck nigga, I don't play. If I don't know you, I don't wanna know you, I don't play.
That feature alone placed him in the orbit of the city's underground fame. But those closest to him say there was more to the story than just street fame. Yes, he was associated with the streets, but according to those who knew him, he was also trying to break free from it. He had
Sad part, man. Like, most of these young brothers be talented in multiple ways. And you know what I'm saying, we always use our talents wrong ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could apply ourselves in so much other shit and be a whole different way. You know what I'm saying? Could have lived a whole different lifestyle had he took some of his characteristics and applied them differently, you know.
Reportedly been out of prison for about a year and had started speaking publicly, sometimes in his videos, sometimes just to his circle, about real-life lessons, loyalty, betrayal, the cost of beef, and the dangers of gang life. He may have been ready to walk away, but the streets weren't done with him yet. Some said Nikko was serious about turning his life around. He wanted to leave a legacy for his kids, not just war stories. But others weren't so sure. In a city where one bad history can follow you for decades, not everyone believed in second chances. And in West Garfield Park, enemies rarely forgive and never forget. Eventually, that past came back to find him. And on the night of June 29, 2024, just after 11:10 p.m., police were dispatched to the 3300 block of West Franklin Boulevard in the Garfield Park neighborhood on Chicago's west side, a stretch known both for its tight-knit community and its long history of gun violence.
Chicago police are investigating a deadly shooting on the city's west side. Officers tell us they were called to the area near Franklin and Spalding for a report of a person shot. That's when they say they found a 35-year-old man who had been shot several times. The victim was taken to a hospital where he later died. It's still not known who fired the shots.
When officers arrived, they were met with a chilling scene. A 35-year-old man, later identified as Nikko Whitehead, lay on the sidewalk, unresponsive and bleeding from multiple gunshot wounds. Shell casings littered the ground. A crowd was beginning to form, some recording on phones, others crying out in disbelief. Witnesses later reported hearing over a dozen shots ring out before seeing a dark-colored vehicle speed away. Paramedics tried desperately to save him. Nikko was rushed to Stroger Hospital, one of the city's busiest trauma centers, but the injuries were too severe. He was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Nikko's death sent ripples through Chicago's South and West Side circles, especially among those who knew him through the city's underground music scene. To some, Nikko was a man still battling his demons. To others, he was a survivor trying to rewrite his story. But on that June night, it seemed like someone from his past decided to close the chapter for him. But what made the killing even more disturbing, it wasn't just the brazen nature of the attack, it was the fact that it was all caught on camera. The widely circulated eyewitness video captures Nikko Whitehead being surrounded by several men in what appears to be a premeditated ambush.
That's crazy.
In the clip, one man pistol whips him as others move in. Disoriented and struggling to stay on his feet, Nikko tries to defend himself, but it's too late. At least one of the men opens fire, shooting him multiple times at close range. The bystander filming the scene doesn't flinch, almost as if he knew what was coming. Bystanders could be heard screaming in the background, some too afraid to intervene, others recording in shock. But what happened on that street corner wouldn't stay there for long. The footage quickly spread across social media, fueling outrage, sorrow, and speculation about who was behind the hit and why. One thing was clear. It didn't appear to be a robbery. There was no shouting, no attempt to run. It looked like a planned execution, done in front of people and possibly by people he once called brothers. By the time police arrived, the suspects had vanished. At the time of this recording, no arrests have been made, and no suspects have been officially named by police.
All them people out there, whoever did that to him got, you know what I'm saying, they tied in for sure, or people just dead scared of their ass. That's crazy.
But online chatter and community speculation point to something deeper than a random hit. Some believe Nikko was snaked by his Oru, allegedly members of the traveling Vice Lords, a Chicago gang long embedded in the West Side street politics. The streets talk fast, and word had already gotten out that Nikko had recently been released from jail. Almost immediately, rumors started flying that he'd cooperated with authorities, that he had told on someone. In that world, even the whisper of disloyalty can be fatal. Friends say Nikko had been keeping a low profile in the days leading up to his death. He was moving differently, more cautiously, less visibly. One source even claimed he'd confided in someone that he felt heat coming but wasn't sure from where. Nothing about the hit looked random. It was clean, it was coordinated, it was personal. And Nikko, for all his street experience, may have known the clock was ticking. He just didn't know when it would stop. In one of his last posts on social media, Nikko had spoken about homies snaking.
My so-called friends, so I can kill my own enemy. 9 times out of 10, the ops ain't gonna kill shit. Be their own homies, snaked out. I peep that shit. Stay the fuck away from around, fake ass niggas.
As news of Nikko Cheeks Whitehead's death spread across Chicago's West Side, his death hit the streets hard. Both law enforcement and the community launched into separate investigations, one official, the other unwritten, but just as serious. Area 4 detectives with the Chicago Police Department classified the case as a homicide within hours. Officers from the 11th District secured the crime scene on the 3300 block of West Franklin Boulevard, speaking with a handful of witnesses still lingering nearby. But most people who had seen what happened were already gone, or weren't saying a word. No shell casings were recovered publicly. Police released no information about suspects or motive. But behind the scenes, detectives began collecting surveillance footage from nearby gas stations, apartments, and corner stores, hoping that one camera, one angle, might have caught the shooters coming or going. Officially, police have not confirmed any motive, but the circulated video, along with Nikko's past gang ties,
And that's sad we'll sit there and do our own people like that, man. That shit cry. I hate to see it, man.
and recent social media activity points to betrayal. It looked personal, and those close to him believe he had sensed it coming for a while. While law enforcement stayed tight-lipped, the streets
Look like he knew that was coming too. Just look at him, bro. Like he just looking like, damn, these boys finna go get that.
it coming for a while. While law enforcement stayed tight-lipped, the streets lit up. In the days following his death, the West Side, from Garfield Park to North Lawndale, felt the weight of Nikko's loss. Online, tributes poured in. Friends and fans shared clips of him in local music videos, interviews, and old Zach TV appearances. To many, he was a street legend, the West Side Cheeks, or simply a father who didn't deserve this. Photos and posts showed him smiling with his 2 children, his daughter and son. But offline, the reaction was more complex. Those who knew Nikko personally remembered a man trying to walk a new path. Some believed he truly wanted to change. What's most chilling is how many people described his death as inevitable, not because he deserved it, but because of how unforgiving the streets can be when someone tries to break free. But for Nikko's children, especially his young son, this wasn't a street lesson. It was permanent. A funeral was held for 35-year-old Nikko Whitehead at Queen of Heaven Catholic Cemetery Hillside, Cook County, Illinois, USA, where family, friends, and community members gathered, wearing his favorite kolu, to mourn his tragic passing. The service reflected on Nikko's life, from his early years on the West Side to his presence in local music, street culture, and independent films. Loved ones remembered him as a complex figure, a father, a friend, and a man who, despite his past, had been trying to turn a new page. As candles were lit and prayers were said, the room filled with emotion. Some wept, others remained silent, and many stood in solidarity with a family left broken by violence. Nikko's funeral served as both a goodbye and a reminder of how unforgiving the streets can be and how every life lost leaves a void that echoes long after the last goodbye. Though he never achieved mainstream fame, Nikko was deeply known in his circles. Whether through music, independent film, or the street economy, he left behind a network of people, some loyal, some not, who understood exactly what kind of life he had lived. Nikko Cheeks Whitehead's murder wasn't just about one life lost. It was about a city where black men die young, not from outsiders, but often from those closest to them. What do you think about it? Let us know what you think in the
Yeah, man. It's just another story of another, you know what I'm saying, young brother gone too soon, man. Hopefully at some point we stop doing that to each other, man. Shout out to Domestic Crime for this video. And if you like content like this, go ahead over there and subscribe to their channel. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you like videos like this too, man, drop a like and a comment on this video and let me know how you feel about this. Rest in peace to that brother, man. God bless those kids. At some point, man, we got to be bigger than what we being right now, man. But until next time, I'm Lusky. You watching Lusky Views. I'm gone.